To create a new process diagram, in the iGrafx Quick Start dialog box, click the Process Template category, and then double-click Cross-Functional Process. The diagram is initialized with a swim lane called Department 1 and a start shape. To place a rectangle shape representing an activity, click that shape in the Shape palette or click the activity shape in the Toolbox toolbar in the left frame of the tool. Move the cursor into the diagram area and it changes to a placement cursor, indicating that when you click, the shape will be added to the diagram. Clicking an empty space returns the cursor to a placement cursor, and you can continue to add as many shapes as desired. Whenever something is selected, hitting the delete key will delete that object. You can also click down with the left mouse in empty space and drag to select multiple objects in the diagram area, and then press the delete key. To add a shape and a connection line, click in empty space to get the placement cursor. Move the cursor inside the boundary of a shape. Click down and hold the left mouse button down. Scroll to the desired placement point for the shape and then release the left mouse button. With the shape selected, you can enter a label for the shape, and you can return to placement mode by clicking outside of the shape once and clicking again, and you can continue to add shapes and connection lines in this manner. If you prefer a different theme color for your diagram, click the theme window in the lower right hand corner and then choose from the different combinations available. By default, we use the eggshell theme. To return to the shape palette, click the shape palette window. To move a shape or other object in the diagram, click it to highlight it. Place the cursor over the stipple pattern, then left mouse click down and drag and release. You can always undo any changes by using the Edit Undo command, or type Ctrl-Z for undo. To change the size of a selected object, place the cursor over a grab handle, left mouse click down and drag and release. And I'll undo that as well. Next, I want a decision shape in my diagram. I'll click it in the Toolbox toolbar and place my cursor over an existing connection line and left mouse click. The shape is automatically added to the connectivity, and a label for the first decision path is created, the no path, and I can draw the second path by clicking down within the border of the decision and drag and dropping to another shape. And now I have both the yes and no paths defined. If real-time checking is turned on before all the connection paths are drawn from a shape, a stipple pattern on the shape will warn you that another connection line is needed, and also placing the cursor over the shape displays a warning that goes away after the second connection line is drawn. When drawing connection lines from a decision shape, by default the first line gets a no case label and the second line gets a yes case label. To change that, right click one of the connection lines and choose a different case label. To change the yes and no text, you cannot edit it directly on the diagram. Double-click the decision or right-click the decision shape and choose Properties. There, in the Shape Guide page, you can edit the text, or you can do that in the Outputs page. To finish labeling the shapes, click a shape and type the shape label. If there are unconnected connection lines, place your cursor within the border of a shape, click down and drag to within the border of another shape, and then release the left mouse button. To insert additional swim lanes into the diagram, click the Swim Lanes tool in the Toolbox toolbar and type the name of the new swim lane. You can specify the location and then click OK. Normally, if you move shapes within a swim lane, I'm using the arrow keys, the swim lane grows automatically to make space for the shape. But you can select a shape and drag and drop it, or multiple shapes, into the swim lane as desired. You can also rename the swim lanes. Click the swim lane header and then click it again, and then type the desired swim lane. You can model cross-functional activities by holding the Control key down while you grab a handle on a shape. You see the cross-functional cursor, and then you can drag and resize the shape to span multiple swim lanes. Otherwise, when you grow a shape, the swim lane will grow with it. If you wish to exclude one or more swim lanes from the particular shape, double-click the shape and then go to the Task page, click Exclude Swim Lane, and specify any swim lane you wish to be excluded. Click OK, and now the excluded swim lane has a stipple pattern. To customize the Toolbox toolbar, click the More Shapes icon, then click Shape Library, and click Add Shapes. Choose a shape palette, and then select a shape. Click the Add button, and click Close. And now that shape is available in the Toolbox toolbar. To automatically number the shapes in the diagram, choose the numbering tool in the Toolbox toolbar. Click Show All Shape Numbers. The shapes are numbered left to right by department. That can be changed. Go to the Auto Renumber dialog, and you can specify that they are renumbered by flow through the diagram. Now my shapes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by the flow through the diagram. If you prefer to manually renumber the shapes, that can be done as well with the Manual Renumber tool. Specify a starting number in the Renumber dialog. I'll say 1, and then click Shapes to number. So right now shape number 6 is credit problem addressed, but I want credit OK to be shape 6, so I click that, and the renumber tool increments to 7, and I can choose which shape I want to be shape number 7, and automatically shapes are renumbered so that there are no duplicate shapes. When finished, click the Finish button. An iGrafx document may contain a hierarchy of diagrams. You can right-click any shape and choose Add Sub-Process so that that shape can drill down into another sub-process within this file. You can use the current diagram as a template or the standard template and name the process and click OK. And now you can continue to fill out the sub-process for this check credit process. Click the back button to return to the parent diagram, and you can see an indicator on the shape that shape is linked to a sub-process. To view a list of all the diagrams within the document, click the Explorer bar icon. Here you can also rename diagrams and get a hierarchical view of the structure of this document. So check credit is a sub-process of main process, for example. Shapes can be linked to supporting documentation. Select a shape and choose the Insert Link command. And in the subsequent dialog, you can specify a web URL or choose a location on your hard drive, but preferably you would also be using a iGrafx repository, and then you can choose a repository link and specify a document within the repository, such as how to take an order. Then click OK, and now a link indicator is showing that we have a link to a Word document. To open that Word document, right-click on the shape and then choose the Word document name. Another method for adding supporting documentation is to select a shape, choose the View Note command, and add the desired text. Close the dialog, and a shape indicator is placed on the shape. Moving the cursor over the shape displays a tooltip with the note. I'm now ready to print my diagram. My page setup settings show that I want to print to a portrait orientation on 8.5 by 11 paper. If I zoom out, I can see the page boundaries for my print job, which will be printed to 2 pages. Unfortunately, I have connection lines that will go off the edge of the first piece of paper and then be picked up on the second piece of paper. I can, however, turn on automatic off-page connectors, and that way in the printout I can see where one connection line stops on one page and starts on a subsequent page. The off-page connectors are intelligent. If I change my page setup, say to landscape, and to fit the diagram to print on a single page, the off-page connectors automatically go away.